let's start our third lesson, elements around us. In our daily life, we are surrounded by many things like cans, cooking pots, spoons, nails, and other many materials. All of these things called matter. Let's talk about this iron nail. This iron nail is made of iron. This coin is made of copper. Can I extract copper from iron? Of course not, because iron and copper, both of them are different elements. What I mean by element? Element is the simplest form of matter. The simplest form of matter that can't be divided into two substances or more. Again, element is the simplest form of matter. This definition is very important. The simplest form of matter that can't be divided into two substances or more. As we said before, that matter consists of small building units called molecules. Now we will repeat this part but with element, because element is the simplest form of matter. So element equal matter but in its simplest form. So the element consists of smaller particles called molecules, and the molecules consists of smaller things called atoms. Again, molecules consist of small things called atoms. Elements consist of smaller particles called molecules. Total number of elements is 118. There are 92 natural and 26 artificial man-made in labs. Elements, as we said, they are the simplest form of matter that can't be decomposed into two substances or more. Elements, according to their properties, scientists divided them into two main groups. According to their properties. The two groups are number one, metals, and number two, non-metals. What are these properties? Let's start. Number one, luster. Metals have luster. Luster means shiny. Like this cooking pot, this aluminum foil, shiny. This rod, this other rod made of copper, and this one made of iron. This spoon. But non-metals like sulfur, non-metals are dull, they are not shiny. They don't have luster. Property number two, metals are good conductors of electricity, although non-metals are bad conductors of electricity. We have an activity to prove that metals are good conductors of electricity. There is an electric circuit, contains electric wires, battery, small lamp, and switch. The lamp will light up. If I connect a foil paper to this electric circuit, I found the lamp will light up because metals are good conductors of electricity. But if I use a piece of sulfur and connect it to the electric circuit, the lamp will not light up because nonmetals are bad conductors of electricity. If I connect a piece of carbon to this electric circuit, I found the lamp will light up, although the coal or the carbon is non-metal. Why? Because carbon is the only non-metal that is good conductor of electricity. So we use it in making pattern. Property number 3. Metals are good conductors of heat. Non-metals are bad conductors of heat. Let's make an activity to prove that. We need an iron rod attached to a piece of wax, a candle. After a while, you find the wax will melt. Why? Because iron is a metal and metals are good conductors of heat. If I replace this iron rod with a carbon rod, the wax will not melt. Why? Because carbon is a non-metal and non-metals are bad conductors of heat. Property number 4, metals have high melting point. What I mean by high melting point, it needs high temperature to melt. Let's make a quick activity to prove that. We need some iron nails. Put it on the flame and try to melt them. It's too hard to melt iron nails because they are metals and metals have high melting point. If I replace the iron nails with sulfur, and put the sulfur here on the flame, it will melt after a while because non-metals have low melting point. They need low temperature to melt. Number 5, and the last property, this one. Metals are malleable and ductile. What I mean by malleable and ductile, they can be bent or reshaped or hammered. But non-metals, they are not malleable and ductile. You can't be hammered or bent or reshaped. Let's make a quick revision on metals and non-metals properties by making a comparison between them. You will find this table, page 15 in your booklet, and this table is very important. Number 1, in the point of comparison between metal and non-metals is luster. As we said before, that metals have luster, they are shiny. Non-metal, they don't have luster, they are dark. 2, conductivity of electricity. As we said, metals are good conductors of electricity. Non-metals are bad conductors of electricity, except carbon. Number 3, conductivity of heat. Metals are good conductors of heat. Non-metals, bad conductors of heat. Malleability or hammering. Metals are malleable. They can be hammered or bent or reshaped. Non-metals are not malleable. They can't be hammered or reshaped or bent. Number 5, melting point. Metals have high melting point. They need high temperature to melt. But non-metals have low melting they need low temperature to fix the state at room temperature. Some examples for metals and non-metals. All of the metals are solids. Solids like copper, gold, silver, aluminum, except the only liquid metal is mercury. The only liquid metal is mercury. But in the non-metals, we will find solids, liquid, and gas. Solid non-metals like copper and sulfur. Liquids like bromine, and all of the gases, oxygen, nitrogen, and so on.